I would like to request Dr. J.S.Yadav, Managing Director of the National Council of State Agriculture Marketing Boards in New Delhi, India, to share insights into policy and institutional support for maize sector growth in Nepal. Dr. Yadav have wealth of experience of 40 years in training, research, and consultancies in agriculture marketing and agribusiness. Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much, and good morning to all. First of all, thanks goes to the organizer for inviting me, providing me opportunity to interact on a very vibrant subject. I say policy, reforms, and approaches. These all three are different, and this needs to be discussed more in details. According to me, we need to be an integrated approach. Policy cannot be framed until unless you have involvement and inclusiveness of all. Therefore, I take it differently. While traveling to all across the world, all intercontinental traveling on all wholesale markets, I have traveled more than, I think, 100 countries, particularly with respect to agriculture value chain analysis and wholesale markets. And having seen different models, what is Africa, what is Europe, what is Asia, within Asia, Southeast Asia, and Eastern countries, and our Pacific area. Pacific is different, and East different, and Indian subcontinent, what we call the East, is different, and then Middle East different. Afterwards, even Africa is completely different. After seeing this, I sometimes discuss at the world level that we, the Indian subcontinent people of 10 countries, we have different problems. We are completely different in terms of inclusiveness, in terms of our models. Because if you see the markets, wholesale markets and value chain in Europe, that's different than us. Why? Because their focus is not farmers. Their focus is distribution and consumer. They want to provide every facility, every item to the consumer every time. And therefore the cold store. We need India, Nepal, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka and all, we need support to the farmers to make the system sustainable. Therefore inclusiveness. So the approach are different. World over the markets infrastructure you will find war-oriented Europe, North America, including South America, all including what you call the Pacifics. Their focus is different. Therefore, we should be very always alert and caution that we should not follow the models which are working elsewhere. Our approach is inclusive, our approach is farmers oriented, our approach is food safety and security and production. And then world over there is I was talking to the DG 1 minute back. He said, yes, we are trying. But the world is moving so fast towards the third generation marketing, value proposition, market. And we are so slow, particularly I'm talking about our 7-8 countries, similar situation. Maybe Bhutan is also the same, India is also same, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Myanmar, Sri Lanka, almost we are the same. Almost. I'm not saying if something is available in Delhi, might not be available in Sikkim or Mizoram or Nagaland. These are different, that's a different story. But overall, these 7, 8, 9 countries have the similar problem. And this similar problem must be addressed in a different manner. Therefore, I thought, what should be our approach? That's a different story. Maize specifically coming to, because my specialization is almost all agricultural commodities, particularly in fruits and vegetables, and obviously all food grain, pulses, oil seeds, everything. But here we would focus on maize. I need not to encroach upon our other people, those who have already said that India is 4th largest in terms of area, 7th largest in production. But the most important part is the second point, where we say that most of our maize comes from the rain-fed area in India, and therefore productivity is low. Maize is not to be treated to be a priority area in India. Farmer doesn't grow. Wherever they depend on the rainy season, now the rains will start in end of May and will continue up to August, September. During this period, people want to avail this facility on dry lands, wastelands, available lands. They don't treat this maize as a regular professional crop. Therefore, the yield is low. That's the second point. Obviously, they have also very good amount of export, good amount of volumes they generate, and starch industry coming up, feed industry coming up. Food also is very small. As food, maize is very not frequently used. And in India, you must be aware, maize has been categorized not as food grain, more as millets. It's a part of millet, and now efforts are more on biofortified certification. That's the focus. These two issues Government of India has taken up. One is fortification, bringing more micronutrients into maize, and second, procuring 100% procuring of material on MSP. That's a very recent 1 month back announcement of Government of India. Those farmers, those who sift from and register themselves online with sifting from rice to maize would be 100% on MSP. So that's another very interesting initiative Government of India has taken. Obviously, there are a number of areas where we see growth story is very high. Beer consumption is increasing 17.5%. That's a very specialty corn, obviously. But the biggest area is beer consumption. Poultry is also one, and formulated foods is also another one. Though I said the total production in India is around 35 million ton, out of which approximately 10%, 3.5 or so they export. The volume-wise, Nepal is not very big, but the surrounding countries, they do export maize as well. Maize, as obviously everyone has talked about, is a great potential. Yes, India also assesses it as a great potential, and therefore demand is likely to increase. There is no scope of decreasing the demand, because ethanol has also been identified as a potential source from maize in India as an Indian priority, which earlier was not. I would focus more on post-harvest losses. What are the initiatives Government of India taken up on value chain, markets, and what are the latest initiatives in policy? More focus on this. This is the post-harvest loss assessment, what has been done at the farmers level. As I said, is treated to be ignored crop. It's not a very regular professional crop in India. Therefore, the post-harvest losses is 4.65 is not much, but it's farmers level, it's farm gate level losses. That's quite good. I won't say it should be reduced, in my opinion. If you say there are a lot of, now my focus is more Government of India policies. Government of India has prepared a manual of post-harvest loss reduction aspects, which are very common, advisory, and included as the part of extension. Unfortunately, when we discussed extension, it's largely confined only to production extension, seed, fertilizer, insecticide, pesticide, where to cut, where pruning, this, that, what to do, and the field practices. But never more discussed on post-harvest loss reduction, when to harvest, where to harvest, how to harvest, whether the clipper should be used, whether hand-picked, whether hand should be from upside down, downside up. There are small issues in harvesting techniques. So drying, what should be the drying technique? There are standard drying techniques as well, which Dr. Sareen yesterday pointed out. The most modern systems. Chilling is also entered into this. Sanitation is also hygiene protocols and sanitation. I'm not talking about phytosanitary. Phytosanitary is also a very, very big issue, particularly from Nepal point of view. So phytosanitary measures and proper techniques for cleaning, these are the issues which are now has become the part of extension in agriculture marketing in India. Not only that, we have one organization known as ASCII. ASCII is Agriculture Skill Council of India. And in that also, earlier the content was mostly were related to production, but now this is also now important part of creating skills among people, and that also has gone to this. So strong food, free from all insects, how to scientifically techniques of handling protocol. There are standardized technique for handling of commodities. It's not that wherever we want, do it. No. Every step there is a handling protocol of commodity prescribed, and accordingly there are standards. You must be aware, in India there are 5-6 standards. Obviously, Codex standard is common for everyone, but India has harmonized its own standards, mostly drawn on Codex, so that we are close to international market and international buyers' need. And accordingly, within country also we have 5 standards. Even for one grain, maybe maize or wheat or anything, we have our own FCI standards, which we call the FCI standards. Then we have our own AgMark standard. Then we have NSE standards. Then we have cooperative standards. We have our own ISI standards based on Bureau of Indian Standard we call. So they have different standards. I don't know how far the standardization has taken place in Nepal. That's also need to be seen. What I mean to say is, unless you integrate all these things together, value chain cannot be seen in one sentence on one go. Support and policies, when we say, there are different policies. As my predecessor pointed out, input-related policies, production-related policies, I'm not talking about, because these are already, it's a subject of others. Our policies relating to post-harvest equipments. You see, what are the equipments? Post-harvest, you need every place, every machinery, equipments, handling equipments, drying equipments, protocol handling equipments, then lot of processes. So do we have enough support for post-harvest machinery and equipment? You will find most of our schemes are more directed to the input-related machinery equipments, not of post-harvest. Then testing equipments, whether the starch is proper, whether the humidity is proper. Do you have anyone shown or seen somewhere outside which a small meter can show you the moisture level in the grain? Why it's not be made available? So the policy for post-harvest equipments is also different. There is a list of around 100 items we have prepared, where based on this, these have been included as the part of infrastructure. Now, Government of India has also done very interesting thing, and there are 3 kinds of market infrastructure. One is essential services, another is market services, a third is non-market services. The whole infrastructure categorized into this. Market means within market what physically you need, this is different story. And non-market services are different, like warehouse related and processing related, cold chain related, something. And then essential services. To support this, there are essential services equipments also required. Grading, grading and standardization, 2 different things. When you grade, there has to be a standardization first in advance. What are the standard you are accepting? Whether the FAQ free, frequently common FAQ is considered for procurement. Whether FAQ, do you treat it as a voluntary standard or a trade standard or a statutory standard? There has to be a statutory standard. Then the trade should follow the statutory standards. Accordingly, the grade will take place. So grading and standardization go hand in hand. Until you have the standardization, you cannot do. For example, AgMark is our Ministry of Agriculture standardization. But it's not. Earlier it used to be compulsory. 5 years down the line it was compulsory. Now it's voluntary. Whosoever wants to have AgMark, we have our laboratories throughout India, more than 300, 400 laboratories. Those who want to have that, they can go with this. Sorry. Then we have a hygiene standard. Very interestingly, we conducted one study. Probably that's the first study I would like to share with the CMET, if you want. That's the first study, premier study in the world. What is happening world over in agriculture marketing reforms? And we found there are 37 parameters. Based on these 7 parameters, we found the world as a whole. What is that, where the marketing is moving towards? Most of the European countries, North American countries, even South American countries, they are moving towards hygiene, labeling, protocol, and food safety, security and all. Where what should be the hygiene level, handling protocol, something like this. Whereas in our Asian countries, we find we are still stuck up at MSP, price discovery, how the farmer can get better, this and that. We are not coming out of this. Even within the regulatory framework, we are not moved to the further. Now the world is divided into two parts. When I share the global experience, because I have fortunately got an opportunity to be globally traveled, and I have been in the body of the World Organization of Wholesale Market for the last 17 years, representing India and Asia, and I'm director in the board of directors there. Then I realized, oh, we are really poor. These 7, 8 countries are really, we are much behind in the world. Therefore, we also now put these things, like Nepal, I would suggest, because you have never entered even to regulatory framework, never entered into the price discovery mechanism and auction systems, never entered into previous MSP regulation regime and all. Therefore, at least if you enter into this, include food safety, hygiene, labeling standards, or if not standard, at least awareness and campaign as part of your extension, and it must reach to the farmers. Because in India, these are all integrated, they have the policies on storage, obviously, you know. India had the storage regulatory framework down the line 10 years back, probably. We removed this. There is no requirement, there is no now control on Storage Control Act is removed. But there are different kinds of storages. There are farm gate storages, there are producer storages, there are rural go-down scheme was launched. There are go-downs at the cooperative level, there are go-downs at procurement agency level, FCI, there are go-downs with the specialized agencies like warehousing corporation and state warehousing corporations, and there are obviously go-downs in the private sector with good silos and big companies working on this. So there are go-downs. Now, go-downs has become a subject in itself. Therefore, Government of India again made a policy to bring in DWRA, Warehousing Development Regulatory Authority. Now we have separate authority, those and standards have been decided. They regulate the warehousing standards. And we also linked many schemes, what yesterday was being pointed out. Can we link it with warehousing receipt system? Yes. But who will control? And suppose tomorrow I am a cheater. I do some indigenous banking in the name of stocks available. Issue a false receipt. Who will control? Because it's a tradable and tomorrow you can take money against that receipt. Who will control? Therefore, there are regulatory mechanisms also, and there are systems to be followed for this. So, storage in itself is a very, very big subject. So, it has to be seen in a holistic manner. Because you are at the planning stage, I would suggest it plan in a manner which gives you vision for next 10 years at least. Only and only for maize, we have more than 296 or 300 approximately wholesale markets. And each wholesale market has a rival of more than, say, 4 lakh metric ton, 5 lakh metric tons, something like this. So the market network is also very important. India growth story of agriculture is not because of only seed and fertilizer and subsidies. The more important part is that India entered into regulatory framework of wholesale market in 1937 way back, even much before independence. Since then, a regulatory mechanism under government control, the wholesale market has been developing. That's another story, that within India also we have the staggered picture. Like in northeastern states, you won't find so much of development of wholesale market. But again, the inference is drawn that wherever the market condensation has grown, the development has taken place. Like for example, Haryana, Punjab, UP, Rajasthan, which we call the food grain bowl of the country, they have now the, oh sorry, your time is, oh my God. I'm sorry, I have a problem of the subject going in deep. But I will take it up next, sorry. So there is a lot of market network is required, and in India we have more than 7,000 markets. All over the world there are 15,000 markets, all over the world, not more than that. And out of that 7,000 in India, 4,000 with China, both put together 11,000. So we are different in the world. These are the major markets. Those who want connection with these markets, these are important markets, and we are exporting together to Bangladesh, Vietnam, Nepal, Malaysia, and Sri Lanka. Marketing channels, value chain wise, these first three are mostly related to the wholesale markets. We have registered wholesalers, we have registered commission agents, we have registered buyers, and they buy through the wholesale regulated market network. Next to last two, producer retailer and producer consumer, which we call the direct marketing models, is different. These are the markets where state-wise we have APMCs. As I said, we have more than 7,000 markets in the country. Every state has more than, say, some states have 600, 700 markets something. But still there are 8, 9 states, those who have not adopted the regulatory framework. These are alternate marketing systems. Not only one, we have direct marketing models, we issued direct marketing license, bypassing the markets. You can buy from the farmers, but that has to be recorded elsewhere. So we call it DML. There are contract marketing, not only farmers. The farming has to be registered with marketing agencies, and contract marketing, cooperative marketing is parallel, simultaneously forward future markets. We have commodity exchange, agriculture commodity exchange, which is largely a couple of years back was regulated by FMC. Now it's being given to SEBI. ENAM is very important for Nepal. Electronic National Agriculture Market. We have platform, a pan-India platform of more than 1,400 markets. As on date now working, go online and see. Why don't you connect it to international markets, and buyers registered here or registered there, they can participate in supply, and modern integrated markets. Modern, when I say modern markets, India is growing very fast. Some of the project is more, single one project which I am advising now, very close to Delhi, 40 kilometers from central Connaught Place, is more than 10,000 crore investment. Almost 10% of the budget of one single province, Haryana, which is one of the largest growing, fastest growing state. So one project of 10,000 crore. Another project is in Hyderabad. We are undertaking in more than 300 acres, 1,500 crore. So like that, integrated modern infrastructure along with the modern things going. schemes and programs, obviously, as I said, we have information network separate, we have AgMark separate, we have separate network whereby you can assess today which is the highest paying market of the day, which is the lowest paying commodity of the day, where is the arrival, how much lowest arrival in each market today. We have network of information online available with everyone. We have warehousing scheme, we are developing infrastructure. Infrastructure is two-way linked. One is backward area, another is reforms. Because in reforms, the states, those who bring reforms will be given, they will be given only the incentives of subsidy, not others. So they will have to follow the reforms, and backward area also get 40%, whether in general area 20% subsidy. AgMark grading, standardization, cooperative, etc. is done by another organization. Short-term loan, we have the Kisan credit card, warehousing receipt system, as I said. We have also pledge loan scheme. Local authorities, APMCs, they run pledge loan scheme. This is the Ministry of Agriculture structure, where only for agriculture marketing, our additional secretary, special secretary level is dedicated to agriculture marketing, and they look after this. National level, we have COSAM, we have National Institute of Agriculture Marketing. This is the only institute in Southeast Asia, not only Asia, rather I have seen probably nowhere else, exclusively in agriculture marketing. So, and then state agriculture marketing board, agriculture market committees at district level, and then wholesale market, something. And then main features, these are very important. India maybe or might not be, but we are the strongest network markets of the world. Nowhere you will find 400 or 2,000 markets connected online. Nowhere 7,000 markets are regulated. No, this is naturally grown in hub and spoke format because subyards, rural periodic markets, seasonal markets are connected. Ministry of Government of India has owned all markets. We have national markets also. Only 2 minutes more, please. Marketing subject is, because this is more interested from a Nepal point of view, whether the marketing is a state subject or a local authority subject or a union subject. So there are different issues, and we have categorized it, discussed a lot of things. Shortage of time doesn't allow me to do that. Directorate of Marketing, organization, a lot of different, there are 5 ministries involved. There are Ministry of Commerce also involved. If you see these organizations, they fall under different ministries. APIDA comes under Ministry of Commerce. Similarly, we have commodity boards, they come under Ministry of Commerce. There are agriculture, there are cooperative, there are 5 ministries, they undertake the programs. Holistic development, if you want in the country, there has to be an integrated master plan for the country as a whole. We call it country level action plan, and then draw the project out of it. Getting the priority and preparation of detailed project based on these parameters. Unfortunately, nowhere in this subject, in this sector, these parameters are considered. Politically driven, politically motivated, markets are drawn and markets get failed because we don't analyze, because markets have cardinal links. They don't work in isolation. Therefore, a cardinal links, the indexes, daily markets, seasonal markets, every market is different, and therefore it's a seasonal market adequacy index, market importance index, it's upstream down index, it's downstream index, road load factor index, then quantum throughput index, rate of growth index. Based on these indexes, market location and designing is done. It's not merely a four-wall boundary is a market. No. So therefore, I would suggest go with a scientific approach. We in India as approved as a approved source for all consultancies on nomination basis. We don't participate into bidding. And as an expert agency, we undertake larger projects of 2,000 crore, 5,000 crore, 7,000 crore, and we are approved by FAO and World Bank as well. For you, this is for me, I think you should seek, first of all, connection. You should write to the Government of India. They are also happy. I am sure they will approve it. Seek just connection of ENAM, International National Agriculture Markets connection with you. If you have that, your farmers sitting over here can have direct connection for selling their produce, matching close to the price what is prevailing in India. Get renewed. This is also very interesting. NIAM is the only institute for Asia Pacific region, but Nepal has never availed it. Bhutan has availed. Bhutan has they are sending around 10 students every year. You can also avail the facility of NIAM by research, education, training, sending students, etc. Then prepare an integrated holistic master plan and approach ADB, World Bank in a holistic manner, not in project-based, a master plan-based approach. And introduce a RIDF, Rural Infrastructure Development Scheme by the National Bank, which probably I would be the next speaker, I believe. They should, on the pattern of a NABARD in India. Thank you very much for taking time, and I have exceeded the time. Sorry for that. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing highlights on post-harvest management and then market and policies in India.